Okay, I have a little mic because I recorded myself yesterday next to a main road and you could not hear me off of my iPhone camera. And hopefully, this helps with the cars driving by. And then I just got this thing. I think I got this off the TikTok shop, but because I'm using my back camera, it's supposed to show me what I'm seeing. My only problem with this, because I just did a little test run, is that when I first saw my face, it looked like it was focusing on this steering wheel instead of my face. I'm going to pray that this is focused on me because on my little square right here, I think I'm focused. Okay, I have been sitting here for hours. I have been procrastinating like crazy because I am on my fourth step with my sponsor. Little bit of backstory, I am now many years sober, actually. That has absolutely changed my life for the better. But for most of it, I have stayed out of the AA rooms and have not had a sponsor, nor have I properly done the 12 steps that most people do when they start getting sober. My first year living in a sober living was awful, and I had a horrible experience with the girls I was living with. And I went through my 12 steps with my house mom. Like, I filled out a worksheet and didn't think anything through, and that was kind of that. So, these past 6 months, I have gotten myself back into the AA rooms. I really needed it last October. I was just getting to a place where the idea of drugs and alcohol they felt like they were becoming more romanticized. You know, when I was listening to My God, I just kind of kept hearing it's time to get in those rooms and kind of have it be your choice to go in. Because when I went to sober living at 19, right before I turned 20, anything that was happening during that time wasn't my complete choice. I was doing it to kind of for safety, wanting to live, because I was just in a really bad place. But anyways, a little bit of backstory. I'll get into that probably another video. But what I'm doing right now is I'm going through my fourth step, which is my sponsor wanting me to fully write everything, anyone, any event, any institution that I'm still holding a resentment toward. It can be myself, it can be body image, it could be people I'm currently pissed off at, or all the way back from my childhood. Anything I'm still holding on to that gives me an icky feeling. I write on this. I just realized I can't show you the front. It's an extra long piece of paper. It's got 4 columns on it. You write what I'm resentful at, why are you resentful of it, and how it kind of affects you, and then you reflect on your part. So I've been sitting here for hours doing it because I had 2 weeks to do it. And of course, I'm going to procrastinate it because who wants to sit down and think about everything that has ever hurt you? You know, I try to spend most of my life not wanting to do that. But I just kind of went through it. I did my first brain dump of anything, and I realized how much of it was around high school for me. So after my big brain dump, I sectioned it into 3 categories of before high school, everything that happened during high school, and then everything after so far. I'm 26, so I've almost had 10 years after high school, so that was also a pretty big chunk. But what I think I want to talk about is because something I've been working on myself even before writing all this out, like I've been doing today, is I have really felt so much freedom in taking accountability and responsibility for my part. And a lot of my story, childhood story, high school story, a lot of how I've been shaping it in my own head, or if I ever did talk about it, which I have a hard time talking about my stories, but when I do, I'm able to say it in a way that it's pretty clear that I'm a victim in these stories, right? That I've had some things happen to me that's like, yeah, you were a victim in this. This was really bad. This shouldn't have happened to you. Basically, like, it could be good reasons to do bad things or fall into the addiction I fell into. And I think my first 2, 3 years out of high school, because I felt like I had so many resentments, I held on to a lot of those people that treated me poorly, and I kept that pain for a while, and all that did was manifest into more pain during when I was going through college, and having to go get sober, and it didn't manifest into anything good. I would say diving into it really the past 2, 3 years of looking back at everything and reshaping it into what was my part in things, like my high school example, being able to look back and realize, instead of seeing my entire grade as all of these evil children that were out to get me and hated me and bullied me or whatever, looking back and realizing that I was the person who stayed around a handful of people that did treat me poorly, but that was my decision because at the time I thought that that's all I deserved, was to be around people that excluded me and didn't treat me well. And then realizing that there were good people in my high school, they did exist. At the time I was really hurting and I thought I could only be around people who treated me poorly. But what I have found is taking that much responsibility in things like that, being able to look at even really bad things that happened and still be able to acknowledge, yeah, that bad thing happened, but it was my choice to go do A, B, and C bad decisions. I didn't have to choose to go about things that way. I still chose to make these bad decisions. A lot of bad behavior can be justified by maybe tragedies you've been through in life, but the level of peace and comfort and an increase of self-worth that I have experienced being able to go back in things in my life, like a lot of these resentments I had to write on this paper, has been so incredible for me. I have felt so much more peace and freedom finding my part in anything bad that has happened to me, because I guess it just gives me that sense of autonomy and maybe control. I do think I probably have struggled with things of control because, again, you can tie things back to other parts of your life. Like growing up, I had to be in control of a lot of things. There's a lot of chaos in my life and there was a lot of responsibility I had to take on from a young age. And because of that, I think when I was treated poorly in ways that felt like out of my control, like I was just being beaten down by people and the hurt I was carrying from that, I have just felt so much more freedom and peace of taking responsibility for my part in things. And I feel like if I still wanted to beat myself up, I could still look back and be mad at myself for not doing this any sooner, or still looking back at times like my high school example, like beating myself up for why did I stay around those people that I shouldn't have stayed around for so long. But I think that just says a bigger thing about divine timing, because it has taken me this long to get to a level of self-worth that I can look back and see my part in things without beating myself up for it. You know what I mean? I can look back and realize that I did play a part in high school, for example, staying around girls that did not treat me right. But I was also dealing with really insane tragedies that a lot of kids in my age in my high school was not going through. I was so depressed and dealing with things of self-worth and grief and yada yada. I can give myself that grace to realize why I did it. You have to have all of those parts to kind of be able to go through this process. And I just think it has helped me not beat myself up for things in the past and also lean into that part of divine timing. The last video I was talking about all these questions I have, right? Like maybe even, I don't know if I mentioned feeling behind, but I'm 26 and there's always that part. I think mid 20s there's a lot of feeling like you're either too far behind or you should know more. I'm questioning what am I going to be doing with my life. But when I can look back and realize that everything needed to happen to get to me to where I am today, and to be able to celebrate all of the healing that I have done, and that that journey is not over, but also that I'm okay after all the bad things that I've been through, it helps me realize that no matter what's in my future, it is going to be okay. And having that realization has allowed me to find more joy in the present moment, find more joy in the daily things, the struggles of maybe even if I don't know what I'm doing, or I feel like I'm messing up in some way, or if I'm feeling stagnant at all, how can I look around and find some joy? Like I'm sitting here looking at a beautiful view, right? And I'm in a gorgeous state, and I am pain free, and I am young, and I am sober, and I am paying my bills, and I enjoy the jobs that I have, and I work with good people, and I have a good friend group now that I'm not using for addiction. My friends aren't using me for anything. I have genuine friends around me. I have good relationships with my family. I get to be by my sister and my dad right now. Just I have so many good things, right? And I'll be able to do things now like doing the dishes in my house and find joy in that, something that shouldn't be fun. Finding joy in keeping my bedroom clean, finding joy in the plants I have and watching them grow. Just finding these joys in life that I think when I held on to these resentments that I wrote down and didn't take responsibility or accountability for any of my part, I was holding this negativity that wasn't allowing me to see these little positives in my life that I can now see and bring me so much more joy. So that's my take on that. I had just looked at that last video that I posted, because I posted and I didn't look because I just I panic, right? It's been 9 months since I posted from my first to the second video. but all I got were good comments. There were people that subscribed. I was like, I can't believe that. Like, just the joy I feel from that. But also not holding too much weight to it, because if I keep growing, the negative comment's gonna come. I know if I'm keeping positive comments at a certain weight, that's gonna give too much weight to a negative comment. So I'm trying to find that. But even the tiniest bit of support is so big to me. I can't believe someone watches anything I'm saying, and I'm just very grateful for that. I have to go to this AA meeting and see my sponsor. I have everything written out on this long piece of paper. Even though I procrastinated, I did it. I just feel good about the journey, and I'm proud of myself even for this little moment, even though I'm like, why am I creating? Why am I doing this? All the questions I had in my video before. I'm just able to find more joy in the fact that I'm sitting here and there are these adorable little kids on the field. I think there's a lacrosse team over there of these little girls. Just enjoy the fact that I'm sitting right here talking on my phone and just being able to be alive and well and pain free and happy. I'm just feeling good. And if you're watching this, thank you. If you've ever subscribed or liked my video or commented, it means, I'm scared to say it means the world to me because of what I just said about the weight of negative comments. Just know I have a lot of love for doing this. I've been wanting to do it for a very long time. Thank you for giving me grace and love and support, and I wish you well. And I'm very proud of myself, and you should be too. Okay, bye. Okay, now I'm not showing the license plate. Look how pretty of a view I've been watching.